everybody till the race of 1918. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing to the previous videos. Please continue to do so. Didn't really know what to talk about today. Didn't really know whether I'd come on today, to be fair. I've seen a few bits and pieces. Bielsa's doing a press interview today, so I think a press conference, impromptu one as well. So I think we should all take note of that. Keep a wee eye on that, because I definitely think of all the managers, I would want them back. But I'll touch on that in a bit. There's been a few bits and pieces said about creators or by creators about other. Listen, I'm not a creator. I'm an idiot that sits in a bedroom with a camera and a PC that anybody can do. Give my opinion. Um, I let everybody else fight it out. Don't really care for that. It is what it is. I give my opinion. I'll say it how it is. If you like it, happy days. If you don't like it, whatever. If you want to debate, whatever, happy days. You're more than welcome here. But yeah, there's tit for tat. It appears to be. It does appear to be getting a wee bit toxic. Between ourselves as well, which is concerning. But it's got nothing to do with me, and I don't really care. Like, I'll move on. I'll do my thing. To be fair, as Matty at Imagine Not Being Leeds said to me, just be you, do you, um, and be consistent. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just being me and being consistent. I'm looking at people that are giving me the advice that I'm getting, and I'm more than happy to stick with that advice and just continue being me. Um, Again, I want to reinforce everybody's got an opinion, every one of us. So you're more than welcome to this channel. If you have the same opinion or you don't with me, I'm more than happy to sit and discuss things. But yeah, well, we can move on from that now. I continue to say it. We've all got opinions. Let's discuss them. Let's debate them. At the end of the day, we all want the right outcome for the club. That's all that matters right now. Everybody's opinion may be different, but we all want Leeds to win. It's as simple as that. So one of the things that I want to raise today is, I'm not going to go into bashing Farke again. What I'm going to say is this: Daniel Farke, if we keep him, we're going down. Simple as that. If we keep Daniel Farke, we're going down. I've been through all my opinions in the past, and I continue to hold those opinions. So I'll stick to those opinions. If we replace him, we're going down. And I'm going to caveat that. And the reason why I say it is because of this. The 49ers have got to get it right. If they do not get this right, we're going to go down. They have not given me an awful lot of optimism in relation to the previous dealings. They can come out in the media and talk about how great the ground is going to be, blah, blah, blah. You can't build a 60,000 seater stadium in the championship. It's just not feasible. It's not financially. It's not. How does it make sense? It doesn't financially make sense. It doesn't stack up. It's crazy if you're looking at something like that in the championship. So it's important. It's imperative that they bring players in January. They back the manager, whoever it's going to be, in January, and they have got to spend just to survive. It's not about staying up and coming 10th in the league. It's about coming fourth from bottom. And people can say all they want. Well, we're in 11 points. We're above the relegation zone. We've not been in all the Daniel Farke spin. Right. However, we are on a slow roll down the hill. We've lost 4 and 5. Let's be honest. We are on the way into that relegation zone. And once we get into that relegation zone, I don't think we have the manager to get us out of it. The reason why I brought Bielsa up is, and people can poo-poo it all they want, poo-poo. People can say what they want. They may turn around and they say, you're going back in time and whatever. But Bielsa at 70 years old, I think he comes in and completely re-energizes the club. I think he comes in and he brings an entirely new dynamic to the club. I think he comes in and he brings in his own people again. I don't think he comes back out of his own morals or his own purpose. I don't think he'll come back. However, I think if I'm the 49ers and if that press conference goes the way today that it's going to go, if he does resign, you get a plane load of people over to Argentina and you make sure that you have a conversation with the man. I'm not saying he's going to come and do the job. What I'm saying is you've got to have the conversation. He's the best manager we have had, probably realistically, going back to Howard Wilkinson winning the league. People will argue maybe David O'Leary with the young lads going through to Europe. But he's definitely the best. He didn't just lift the team; he lifted the entire city, the club, the city. He put us on a global scale, even more so than what we already are. One of my big points today is, and we can debate that. Personally, if you can get Bielsa, you go and get Bielsa, in my opinion. It's as simple as that. It's an absolute no-brainer for me. Can he do enough to keep us up with the way he would want to play football? I think Bielsa and the crazy tactics and murder ball and stuff like that, things would work with the players we have. Um, they would certainly be a lot fitter. They wouldn't be conceding 60% of our goals in the second half the way we are. We would be definitely converting more chances. We would be scoring more goals. We would be, even if you went down, you'd be going down with the fight. Um, I just don't think Daniel Farke has it. I don't think I'm not going to go into the whole stats-driven side of things with Daniel Farke. I've done it from now to the cows going home. I think I think the salary could be huge. I think Villa, we can go. We can take the game if he takes the game to Villa. We can beat Villa. We really can. I'm looking at Villa's tactics, and they seem to play, as I said, like a 4-3-3 in attack and a 4-2, a 4-4-1-1 in defence. So like McGinn, Kamara, Onana, and then in front of them you've got Bundia moves about. So he starts out on the left, but he moves into like a 4-3-2-1 type scenario. I think we can exploit spaces down the wings. I really do, but we need Dan James and we need Okafor both on the pitch to do so. Now they have Watkins and Rogers up front. If we can stop their midfield runners, Onana, Kamara, and McGinn, then like let's be honest, physicality wise, we've got the physical presence in the midfield, but we have got to stop them if we're playing a 4-3-3. I think we can take points of them. We genuinely can. Konza and Torres, two centre backs. I think DCL causes them a problem. I think more so than Nemacha in this game. But he's got to get the service, and to get the service, he needs to have the support from midfield. We need to be able to get somebody in and around him. So it'll be interesting. Now, I mentioned Don James. Don James is off the back of a 7-1 win internationally. Coming back, he's fit. We know he's fit. He's got to play. And the reason why he's got to play is this. Leeds United came out the other day and done some post about Brendan Aronson about how it was integral to their win over Paraguay, or or in their game against Paraguay. He was very integral. It was a 2-1 win. I looked at the stats. I seen somebody in X actually say about it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna look up these stats." Brendan Aronson, duels won 6, duels lost 8, interceptions 2, ball recovery 3. Okay, so he's doing a bit of defending. He runs about like a headless chicken, as he does. He's been dribbled past once. Okay, again, defensively looking good. Dispossessed 16 times. 16 times he was dispossessed. And people still tell me that that man's good enough. This is Paraguay. This isn't Villa. It's not Man City. It's not Chelsea. And it's not Liverpool. And Aronson has, in that game, passed the ball 27 times. He had 19 accurate passes. 6 of those 19 passes went backwards. Like, 6 of them went backwards. So you're telling me that 30% of his passes are backwards passes. Like, this is the problem that we have at the club. If you've Brendan Aronson passing backwards, and you've got the midfield passing backwards, and our ball retention is over 50%, or sorry, possession is over 50% in quite a few of the games that we've had this season. But it's all in between our centre backs, our full backs, and our goalkeeper, and our four. And what you're doing there is you're stat padding, you're sitting on the ball. Okay, they can't score if we've got the ball. But the problem is we're doing nothing with it. There's no creativity through the centre. So this is where Daniel Farke, and we all know he's under pressure. We all know he's under pressure. And he doesn't help himself. Come this weekend, he has got to take the Man City, we all think is a given. But this Aston Villa game, he has got to take the game to them. He has to take the game to them. Because if he does not take that game to them, we have no chance. We're at home. If Daniel Farke does not take the game to Villa, if we sit back and we give away goals like we give away against Forest or Brighton, it's not going to be, at the end of that game, it's not going to be pleasant. He's not going to get cheered off the pitch for going down or for having a really shit performance. He has to get this right. This is something that I actually saw earlier today, which I want to bring up now. So I saw a quote here on X. This is with Daniel Farke, and some of the things I've went over things that he said in the last few days, but this is really pissing me off. This quote: "The expectation is that if we are playing in the Premier League, we need to win a title and want to play in Europe. That has nothing to do with reality." Absolutely no fan expects that. We're not expecting a trophy. We're not expecting Europe. We're certainly not expecting a title. What we're expecting to do is to stay up, have a go. Have a go. Some of the stats that we have that we can look at is we have the second worst offense in the league. Our attack goals scored is the second worst, only to Wolves in the league. We have conceded 15 goals away from home. We are completely toothless away from home. The only points that we have picked up away from home is against Wolves. I don't expect anything away from home. I really don't. But whenever you go into every away game hoping to get something out of it, doesn't matter who you're playing, hoping and praying to get something out of it. However, in reality, you sort of think, as long as we don't get tanked here, it puts so much pressure on your home performance. So much pressure on our home. 2 of our wins this season's come at home. 2. 2 of our wins that have came from home is West Ham and who was the other one? Wolves, West Ham, and Wolves, West Ham. Can't remember. But my point is, out of all the teams that we've ended up winning against, we have won against 2 of the bottom 3 at the time. How can we really believe in Daniel Farke even at home? Because the way I look at it is very simple. If we cannot win against anybody outside of the bottom 3 who are really bad at that specific time, how can we have faith with our own home form? We have 2-2-1, I think it is at home. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 1. I think that's the way we are at the minute at home. We beat Everton away. Isn't it something similar like that? My main concern here is, oh, that's the other one, the Everton game. Wolves, West Ham, and Everton are 3 wins. Everton was first day of the season. That's right. It just came to me. Sorry about that. The issue that I have here is that we have put in so much, because of our away form, because it's so bad, we are putting so much pressure on our home form. And we've played so many of the lower teams in the league that we're now coming up against the so-called better teams within the league. We are playing next Aston Villa, 6th place. Then we play Man City, who are currently in 2nd place. Then we play Chelsea, who are 3rd place. And then we play Liverpool, the reigning champions, who are currently 8th place. Now, let's be brutally honest. If you're going to take points off anybody, we psychologically think Villa. But Villa had a really bad start, a rough start, and we're going into that game hoping that we take the game to them. Liverpool have got the team that dispatches. I'm hoping that Farke is not on the job at that point. But in between things, it doesn't get easier. You have Man City and then you have Chelsea. Where do we pick points up at? If you take that Villa game out of those 3 games, the City, Chelsea, Liverpool games, where are we picking points up at? Do we hold on to Farke? After the Liverpool game, I think it's like in December, we've got 3 games. And then we play Liverpool again on the 30th of December. It doesn't get easier. We've got 3 games. I think Palace and Sunderland are involved in there. And is it Bournemouth or someone? I don't know. But look, Brentford. It's Brentford, then Palace, then Sunderland, then Liverpool. Brentford are doing all right. They're not amazing. We can get at them, but they have a long throw. It's just a matter of us. Something needs to change. I'm hoping that he changes it up against Villa. We shall see. My main concern today, though, and the reason why I've come on today, is purely because we know Bielsa's having this press conference. We know the Villa press conference for the game at the weekend's tomorrow. We know the Leeds press conference for the game is tomorrow. So I will react to those. But Uruguay are having a press conference today called by Marcelo Bielsa. If Bielsa turns around and decides enough's enough, now they are in the World Cup. The man is a man of morals, a man of principle. He could turn around and pull the pin. I'm not saying he will. The likelihood is, the talk is that he won't. But let's be honest, nobody knows what Bielsa's going to do. Surely, it's the same as the other managers I've linked to. The only thing is we have an emotional attachment. Even, I know he says we're an emotional fan base. Yes, we are. But don't patronise us over it. Don't take the piss out of us over it. Don't gaslight us. We've been through so many downs that have brought the fan base so close. You're not going to fracture it. You're not going to, with the way, people are split on Daniel Farke, and I see people sitting on the fence with Farke, and then all of a sudden after he does these interviews, he's like, they're back, supporting Farke again. At what point are you going to support the club? I don't support Daniel Farke, I support Leeds United. If Daniel Farke beats Villa at the weekend with the team, I'll come out and I'll give him the plaudits. I'll critique him, but I will give him the plaudits as well. If he comes out and beats Man City, he gets anything or gets a good performance against City, I give him his plaudits. But I'll still call him out and I still want him to leave the club because I don't think he's the right man. I want to give you a stat. Marcelo Bielsa was sacked at Leeds for having a 0.88 points per game. 0.88 points per game in 26 games in his final season. The season before he was 1.58 or something like that there. So he was Bielsa has, we know the time Bielsa had with us. He was phenomenal. Daniel Farke, if these 4 games don't go according to plan, will go under what Bielsa went under. Are people then going to turn around and call him out? When's time? When is enough? Do you stand firmly behind Farke until it's too late? I just think it's crazy. Come January, there are going to be so many players that are wanting to play in the World Cup that are currently not involved in their teams that have to play football. And I think if you have a big name manager, if you have Marco Rosa, if you have Thiago Motta, if you have Marcelo Bielsa, I think those men bring players to the club because of their stature in the game, their culture that they bring to the changing room. I don't think Farke has that. Farke's failed at the top level in Germany and in England. We all know you bring players in and he doesn't play them. Makes them sit on the bench. He sends players out to Spain and leaves our squad light, not fully filled. He calls people out for no reason. Joe Rodon, for absolutely no reason, zero. So I don't think Farke has the same gravitas, the same pull that we will need come January. Because believe me, we have 8 games from now to the 30th of December. That rolls us nicely into January the 3rd against Man United. And we need players in by then. We need to be strengthened by then. We need players in on loan by then. There's players that haven't made the England squad. Forgetting England, there's huge amount of countries that are going to the World Cup this year. There's so many players that have got to play football, have to play football, because they're just not making those squads. We've got to be ready to go come the first day of the window. Daniel Farke, he lifted the phone, spoke to DCL, did all those things. Very good, brilliant, very good man management. I have very, very, very serious questions to ask him in relation to what's going on with the youth, what's going on with the players that were here prior to your tenure. Why is there an issue there? Why call out Rodon? Why not give the young lads a chance? I just think it's an ego thing. For me, Troy Parrott, people will say, 30 million euros is too much. Is it too much to stay in the Premier League? If he gets us, will Troy Parrott get on the end of a ball 100% because he runs all day and he plays off the shoulder? And in the way that we are going to have to play in a lot of games actually is counter-attack football. And we need somebody that can run beyond. We need somebody that can play with a big striker and maybe go a 4 with a 2 up front, maybe a 4-2-3-1 with Troy Parrott playing off the shoulder, but defensively dropping back to work. I'm not saying we get him because there's quite a few clubs after him. But we've got to go out and we've got to spend. My concern is that, are we sleepwalking to the championship? And if that's the case, then surely we've got to spend money in the market. It's about getting the right man in charge before then. Whoever comes in, if Farke goes, or when Farke goes, has to be able to see the team that he has, the squad that he has, what he has available. Can he use these players to implement his style and tactics and formation? If that's not the case, then he needs his men through the door. Surely, to God, surely, if this doesn't go well this weekend, he has to go. Because he will go under 1 point a game. If we lose to Villa, Daniel Farke's under a point a game. He's under his own standards. And the 49ers are holding him to those standards, his own set standards. If he goes under those, then he's failing not just the 49ers or us, the fans, or the club. He's failing himself. It's about time we were honest with ourselves. It's not if, it's when. We all want Leeds to win. I just don't want Farke here. I could talk about stats all day. I can give you stats all day. I'm not going to, because you know what? People will argue their point with Farke and say, well, better the devil, you may as well stick with him. Why? Because we're going to go down, right? Your argument is change something, non-changes, we can blame the players, right? The fact of the matter is Daniel Farke signed off on these players. Daniel Farke has went to DCL and got it over the line, so DCL's his man. So people calling out DCL, that's Daniel Farke's man. He went that added extra to get DCL over the line. He wanted to pay him over 100 grand a week. So if you want to call out DCL and players like it, that's Farke's man. I support DCL 100%. I don't think he's getting anywhere near enough support from the midfield or the wings. But Daniel Farke is watching different football than us. He's 100% not at this level. Can anybody, and I ask anybody, anyone here, not just watching this, but any other streamer, YouTuber, creator, whatever, tell me one thing that Daniel Farke has done to say that he can be a success in the Premier League. One thing. Name me one. And if you can name me one, name me a second one. He's a championship manager at best. He's a Bundesliga 2 manager at best. He failed in the Bundesliga with a big, big budget in the Bundesliga. Failed. That's why he was sacked. Anyway, I wasn't going to get him angry today. It is what it is, and I wasn't going to rant about Farke, but I can't help it because the more quotes I see coming out about that man, he just needs to shut his mouth because he's just pissing more and more fans off. The reality is Daniel Farke is not at the level. He's gaslighting us beyond belief. He's in a PR collision course with the fans. It's a shit show. And people can say all they want. Oh well, if the interview, I don't see what you're seeing. I don't see what you're seeing in the interview. Listen, Daniel Farke knows he's under pressure. He's coming out and he's just being at his from start to finish. Whenever you can listen to DCL with no problem, and then you listen to Daniel Farke, and it's all just bullshit platitudes, and he doesn't call us emotional, he calls us passionate, he just changes it up. We know what he means. We know exactly what he means. And then he comes out and says exactly what I said to you. I'm going to leave it at this and move on. The expectation is that if we are playing in the Premier League, we need to win a title and we want to play in Europe. That's nothing to do with reality. Explain to me how I've never met anyone ever that says this shit. He just tells lies constantly. He's just a liar. He's cracking under pressure. But tell me, do you support that message? Listen, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching this long. That was a bit of a rant. It is what it is. Tell me if you agree, disagree, or whatever. Listen, in relation to the management side of things, the managers that are linked, it's a good debate to have. I'm not saying Bielsa will come back or should come back or anything like that. But if he does quit today, it's an absolute craziness if we don't have somebody on a plane out there to speak to him. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. As I say, I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be a wee bit after both press conferences. I'll give my reaction, and yeah, on.